Are you using image cropping as a creative tool? Can image cropping take your photos to the next level? Stay with me. In this video, I'm going to show you how cropping done right can take your photography to its maximum potential. Some say real photographers don't crop, they get it right in camera. Let me ask you a question. Is that mindset boxing you in? But what if cropping is the key to unlocking more emotions in your photography? By the end of this video, you will never look at cropping the same way again. And in my final point, I'm going to show you a method that will literally create every single photograph you take into an art piece. All right, guys, so point number 1, crop for stronger composition. Let's start with something simple. Cropping isn't about saving a bad photograph, it's about shaping your message. When I am photographing, I leave 15 to 25% extra room around my subject. Not because I'm unsure, but because I know the final image has to be crafted, not just captured. I ask myself 2 questions every single time I pick up my camera. How big or how small should my subject feel? What emotion do I want my viewers to experience? The space that I leave in my frame later on becomes a creative freedom. It lets me refine exactly how my story should feel. Cropping isn't fixing, it's finishing the photograph the way I imagined it before I pressed the shutter speed, or actually even before I landed up on location. But composition is just the beginning, because cropping doesn't just change what you see, it changes how you feel. Okay guys, point number 2, crop to shape emotion. A photograph isn't what you just see, it's what you feel. And sometimes that feeling only reveals itself once you start cropping. Cropping isn't just about shaving away things that you don't like in your frame or centering an image. It's about shaping emotions. Maybe you crop tighter to pull the viewer closer, to feel the tension in the subject's eyes. Or maybe you leave more space to let the scene breathe, to invite calm and openness. Small shifts in the frame can change everything. The mood, the energy, the story your viewer feels without even realizing why. Cropping gives you the power to shape not just the image, but the experience. But emotion alone isn't enough, because cropping even changes something you can't see right away. Something technical that can make or break your final work. That brings me to point number 3. Crop with the end in mind. Very important. Cropping is excellent, but you cannot forget what the end result you want. So you have to crop accordingly. Remember, every time you're cropping, you're removing pixels. And once they're gone, they're gone. You cannot bring them back. So if you're going to work with a 45 megapixel camera and you crop 50% of that, it's okay. But if you're working with a 24 megapixel camera and you're taking away, say, 50% of that, that does not work, especially if you're going to blow up your image into a 4 feet by 6 feet, or maybe that's the clientele you have. But if you don't have that kind of clientele, hey, and if you're only going to use that for Instagram and for your websites and so on, that's perfect. Then you don't need to worry about it. That's why I always crop with the end in mind. And for me, the end in mind is selling images. We do sell images that are 4 feet by 6 feet, so I need to maintain a lot of pixels. I need to keep them in my frame. So cropping 10 to 15 to 20% maximum is the way I go. But these are the questions you need to ask yourself. Will this image need to be printed larger? Will it hang in a gallery wall? Very important, because they ask you for the best quality possible. And if the answer is yes to both those questions, then I'm just a little bit more careful. I try to stay within 5 to 10% of cropping, and that's it, no more. But if I plan on using it just for Instagram, or if I plan on using it just on my website, hey, I use 45 megapixel camera, I can go down to 50%, not an issue at all. So keep that in mind. So when you are photographing, you know where the image is going to land. Is it going to be in a gallery? Is it going to be on a client's wall? Is it going to be just on your website? Is it going to be on your Instagram? And that will help you know how much percentage of cropping allowance you can give yourself. And speaking about where the image is going to land and what the image is going to do, let me show you something that I do on a regular basis. Without that, I will never approve of an image to be shown to anybody. This I have been doing for the longest time. I have not spoken about this to anyone at all, but I'm putting it out there because I want people to get the maximum out of this channel. I want people to make sure that they are taking home and using these tips to their advantage. Whether you like them or not is totally up to you. At least try it. So here's the final step I take before I commit to any kind of cropping. And this is something I have rarely heard any photographer talk about. But to me, it is the most important thing in selecting your image. So once I'm done retouching my image, I'll flip the image horizontally like a mirror, because sometimes flipping the image just changes the emotional weight of the photograph. Suddenly the energy is flowing better, the story feels stronger. You'll be surprised how many of my final images ended up flipped from the original capture. But then I take it one step further. I'll flip the image upside down, because when the story, the colors, and even the subject disappears, what's left? Pure design, pure focus. Focus to where you want your audience, your client to see. So you take the image, you flip it, and the lines are still drawing you into the same place as you wanted when the image was not flipped upside down, then that is a successful image. The questions after flipping it upside down that I asked myself: does the balance feel right? Do the lines still guide my eye to where I want them to see? Does the energy still pull me in? If the image holds up upside down, then I know the structure is actually truly solid. This process literally takes few seconds, but it changes everything about how I finish my work. And then the crop feels right easily. When a crop feels right mirrored, and it still feels powerful upside down, you're no longer just framing an image. You're crafting work of art. Cropping isn't something just casual. It is how you finish your whole story. Cropping is so important. It can just change the way someone feels about a photograph. Cropping isn't about correcting mistakes. It's about finishing a vision, shaping emotions, guiding the eye, and crafting images that move people. If this video has shifted the way you think about cropping, let me know in the comments. Tell me how you've used cropping in your own art, and share your secret tips with me, because I'm always learning. I want to learn more. I want to learn about your tricks. And if you want more ways to go beyond just techniques to create photographs that feel timeless and powerful, stay with me, and I will be bringing in more of these kind of videos that help you unleash your fine art photography. And there's another thing that I want you guys to know is that we've been getting a lot of messages and emails asking questions about some kind of technique or some kind of shutter speed. Actually, the other day we had a gentleman email me and say, hey, I'm going to so and so place and I wanted to know what I should or shouldn't do. Can you talk to me? So for that purpose, I'm going to open up a calendar link. It's totally free. Book your time. I can get on the Zoom call and talk to you. Any questions regarding wildlife photography, I'll be there to answer. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.